Hello everyone, I'm Brock, the Curly Man behind Curly Man's Comics, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 comics you must read. At number 10 we have Sentient. This is a Jeff Lemire comic that follows a group of children and their parents that get on board a spaceship and are flying off to inhabit a new planet. But quickly everything goes wrong and these children kind of have to fend for themselves with the help of a robot on the ship. There's a ton of blood and gore and action in this story, but the main thing that's focused on is family in this story, whether it's between human and human or even human and robot. Also I want to mention this is a TKO Studios book, and currently they're doing a really cool thing with any book that you purchase from them. You can send half of the proceeds to your local comic shop. On top of that, all TKO Studio NumberOne issues are free to read on their website. At number 9 we have Criminal, done by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. And this is a series that's been going on for a long time, and there's many different runs of Criminal, but this one is definitely my favorite. This is the very first run. It follows Leo, who's an expert mastermind in theft and robbery, kind of similar to the main character in Prison Break. And essentially he groups up with his team of people and everything goes wrong, and he has to try and resolve how his master plan didn't end up working out for him. If you like this, as I mentioned, there's many different runs of Criminal, as well as Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips make very similar series. One of them will be seen later in this list. And finally, I would recommend Scarlet. It's about a woman who's kind of fighting against the police and starting a huge riot. It has a similar undertone than this comic. At number 8 we have Donny Cates' current run of Venom. This is my favorite run of Venom that's ever been done, and there's many huge influential characters that have been created in this run. One of them being Null. He's the huge god, evil person behind all symbiotes, and he's soon going to be coming down to Earth to have a huge massive attack. Also, this comic introduces Dylan Brock. I won't dive too much into who he is, but you might be able to tell because of his name, and Sleeper, who is by far my favorite symbiote. So I'd definitely check this out so you can learn more about the symbiotes and everything that's going on with them right now. At number 7 we have Nailbiter. And Nailbiter takes place in a town that is full of different serial killers. The main serial killer in this town is Nailbiter, and essentially what he does is after he kills his victims, he chews on their fingernails all the way down to their bone. It's a very gory comic. I definitely wouldn't recommend it for the light of heart, but they're basically trying to solve the mystery of why all these serial killers are in the town. It's got a great ending, and there's more to come. They're starting up a Nailbiter number 2. It was supposed to be coming out in a couple months, but that's going to be hesitant now with what's currently going on in the world. But I definitely recommend you check out Nailbiter. At number 6 we have Deadly Class. This story follows a homeless kid who's going through rough times and is recruited by a school of assassins for children, basically. And him and his friends that he gains in this school have their own targets that they want to hit. He personally wants to kill the president. It's a really good series. Some of your favorite characters might die. I know my favorite character died, so it's kind of got a Hunger Games sort of vibe in that way. They also created one season of it for a TV show that followed the comic very closely. It's a really good TV show. I wish they would bring it back, but for now, definitely check out the Deadly Class comics. At number 5 we have another Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker comic called Kill or Be Killed. This follows a college student who's going through hard times and ends up trying to kill himself. After he does this, he believes that a demon is haunting him, forcing him to either kill one person every month or be killed himself. I would definitely recommend this book if you're looking for something really dark to read. For number 4 I have Grass Kings. This follows a group of people who are living off of the grid, living their own life, having a great time, but the neighboring village doesn't like what they're doing. So basically the neighboring village is trying to kick them all out of this area. On top of that, there's a serial killer mystery in this comic, and they believe the serial killer is in the Grass Kingdom where all of these isolated people live. This comic has one of my favorite artists ever, Tyler Jenkins. It's a very sloppy art style, watercolor, but if you're into what I'm into, you definitely enjoy this comic. At number 3 we have The Walking Dead, and I'm sure most of you know about this comic. It follows a zombie apocalypse and a group of people trying to survive it. It has amazing characters throughout the story, many great villains. By far my favorite villain of all comics being Negan. You'll learn to love him in this story. There's also an amazing TV show. I kind of waned off of it for a while, but this newest season is really awesome. Check it out. Baby Judith is a badass. At number 2 we have Fables, and this comic follows a group of fairy tale creatures and characters that are now living in New York. And they're living in New York because there was a war going on in their homeland and they had to flee. So this story basically covers them trying to get back to their homelands, but it also covers all the issues going on in New York they're dealing with. And the main character is a detective slash cop. He's the big bad wolf, and he's trying to solve a case of murders that are going on in New York. If you don't like this series, that's okay. There's many spin-off series also made of it, and there's a video game, by far my favorite video game, called The Wolf Among Us. So there's many different medias that you can get into Fables. At number 1, my all-time favorite comic is Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire. This story follows a bunch of animal-human hybrid children who are living during the apocalypse. And basically there's a disease going on, and everyone thinks that these children are the cause of it. So they're hunting them down, trying to kill them, and these kids are trying to survive and live their daily life while also trying to find out the true answer to the mystery on why this disease is being spread and why they exist. This comic has the best ending I have ever read in a comic. It might make you cry. I know it made my girlfriend cry. I might get into that in a later video on comics that'll make you cry. But this is an amazing series. Also, the writer is a great guy. He's donating a ton of art and proceeds to different local comic shops during all these issues that we have in the world right now. And if you like this comic, they're currently making a TV show for it. And those are my top 10 comics I recommend you would read. If you like this video, be sure to drop a like or subscribe, and definitely leave a comment of what your top 10 comics are, and I'll be sure to check them out, and maybe I'll make a video about them later. As always, I'm Brock, the curly man behind Curly Man's Comics, signing off.